This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so hi, welcome to Advanced Careers Tech Talk Monday, our monthly Tech Talk, which is held every first Monday of the month. This is an avenue where we actually delve into more technical stuff within the IT industry. The last two couple of Tech Talks, we talked about API and also cloud computing, which was very educative. If you are here for the first time, you could find Advanced Careers on YouTube, and you can find the Tech Talk there. We recorded that and uploaded it on YouTube. And also, I'm not sure yet. Probably yes, probably no. We might have this on YouTube, or we share a link to those that attended to refresh their memory on the things that they're going to be learning today. Before I got this started, I have given us like a structure of how the Tech Talk is going to go. So John Kushara will start, Sarah will follow, Bidemi, Femi Ikperu, and then Oluwadamilola Kilani. They're going to give us a brief of what they do in terms of the job, their day-to-day activities, their challenges they face, and also any advice they have for those people that are behind them. All right. Um, John, everyone's story here is amazing, but John is holding the record of the quickest person to secure a job without having an idea of the role upon joining the internship program. I think it took John 10 weeks, and one of his mentor is Bidemi Akilade as well. So it's amazing that we have all of these faces here. Um, without going too forward, I think I will just give all of the experienced guys the opportunity to get cracking. So, John, if your mic is on mute, you can unmute yourself, and every other person, please mute your mic so that we don't get distracted. Okay,
Hi
and I think
everyone.
at the end of everything, we should have question, or at the end of each person conversation, should we have a question at the end of each person's talk, or at the end of the whole program? I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. So, John, up to you.
Hi everyone. First of all, I'm going to start with giving thanks to God for this opportunity to be here. And I want to use this opportunity. Sorry, my son is here. Tommy, can you shut that door, please? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry about that. And I would want to use this opportunity to thank couple of people here, please. David, you just have to give me this opportunity to do this. I want to give thanks to David, Bidemi, Sam, if he's here, Damilola, Fumi, you know, those people really stood by me. Um, Obviously, my name is John Kushoro. Few years ago, I worked as a prison officer. I did that for 5 years, and I got sick of my job, because it wasn't a great job for a family man, and I felt I needed something that would give me more time with my family. Um, I went on the internet and check. Someone told me about this software testing, and and I went on the internet to check, and I bumped into advanced career while I was googling, and you know, I decided to have a go, due to the reviews I saw, and I started with the lessons with them. Sorry, I'm going to kind of stutter here because I'm not very you know um, I started with an advanced career, and at the minute I work as a software test analyst, But prior to that, I started with advanced career, and you know, I started. David introduced me to Bidemi as my mentor, and I started with Bidemi. When we were going through lectures, and I really had to put my best in to start to for all the lectures Bidemi put me through. I I I really had to put my best in. The road was rough, really, but I believe anyone can attain whatever you want to attain. Um, if I could share my more experience with you, with if I could, sorry, I'm just looking through. If I could share more experience with you with what I work as, I work as um, I work as a test analyst, and every day at work is sorry, David, I'm just I'm just I'm not I've got a lot of things going on in the background that I'm just getting distracted. Sorry,
Is it your
guys.
kid? Is it your kids? Or
Yeah, yeah, one of them is very ill. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just kind
okay.
of looking at him. One of them is really, really ill.
Do you want to pause and allow someone else continue first, then we can come back to you?
Yes, please, if you don't mind, I'm just going to take him upstairs. Sorry about
All
that.
right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sarah, could you just probably go ahead while John tries to sort out the other things he has to deal with?
Okay, sure. Um, Hello everyone. My name is Sarah Irable. I am currently a business analyst. My background is pharmaceutical science, so I am way off the IT spectrum. And then as years go by, I always try to get myself into different things to upgrade myself. So I was currently, before I became a business analyst, I was a research and development consultant in an accountancy firm. And I was so tired of the job. Like, you're just tired of your job. Like, you just feel like you're not progressing. There's nowhere else to go. Like, you kind of know it. So I was at that stage where I was tired of this job. I was looking for a new challenge. I was wondering what else could I do out there? What could I get into? So I would say a big thank you to Bidemi and David. I reached out and I was encouraged that, yeah, you can actually become a business analyst. I was like, okay, how do I even do that? Like, who do I speak to? Who's going to teach me? And that's where I came across advanced career. When I came across advanced career, I tried to understand what the company is about, what they're going to offer me, what type of what do they have in store. So I got to understand that they would actually have like courses where you come into a center, you sit down in front of the teacher, you would literally be tutored, and then you would have some sort of project. And I think that's what really got me interested, the fact that I knew that it's not just about going to class and learning, because you can go to class and learn, but when it comes to reality, it's a completely different thing. So just having that extra project, real life project that you work on as either a tester or a business analyst, depending on what course you're doing at that time, was really beneficial. So I started in maybe late August, and then I think we finished in August, and we're meant to start the project, I think in August. No, we're meant to start the course sometime around there. I am someone that I just felt like the information that I got from advanced career was enough for me to actually get the ball rolling. So I had to, and it might not be the same for everyone. You might decide that you want to do the project and gain more information and have more practical experience. But I just felt like the quality of information that I was getting, plus having um, mini assignments after every class, was good enough for me to actually put myself into the real world and actually start applying for jobs. So when I started, the good thing as well is that it's not just Advanced Career is not just a company that would teach you and give you a project. They actually go in depth and actually look into your CV and how you should structure your CV to actually present yourself and actually be more competitive in the industry itself. So that's one great thing that David was actually able to help me with. And I started applying. When I started applying, there goes all the rejections. I was getting rejections left, right, and center. And at some point, I started thinking, like, oh, man, did I not do enough, or, did I not study enough? But the good thing as well with Advanced Career, again, is that they actually offer sessions to go over interview questions to prep yourself as well. So I started doing my research, I started going through my notes, I started going for these sessions, um, talking to other people that are maybe preparing for interviews as well. And before you know it, after like the third interview, I got the job. So that has been my experience. Today I'm a system business analyst, which involves me diving into workshops with stakeholders, which involves me eliciting requirements, which involves me getting into system architecture, which involves me prototyping and using process flow diagrams. It's very interesting but very hectic. But my greatest advice to someone is, if you are thinking of going into the world of IT, for example, John, who is coming from a totally different background as a prison officer, it can be very daunting. Like, oh my God, I don't know anything. Um, where do I even start from? I don't think I'm built like that. I don't think I'm smart enough. As long as you have said you want to make a change in your life and you actually are determined and you are going for the classes, you are making an effort to put yourself there to ask questions. I don't see any reason why you would fail. Obviously you might not get a job as quick as John, but you will get there at the at the end really. So that's my advice and that's my story.
Thank you, Sarah. How long did it take you to secure your first job from the day you started the training and when you secured the job? How long?
Oh, so I started late August and I got my job in February. But I only started applying in November, and then we had the Christmas break. So Christmas break is not the best time to apply, and December is not the best time to apply. And then everybody's coming back to work in January. So actually, I got my job in January. So I started applying in October and got the job in January, but started in February. So from
Okay.
start to finish, maybe 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Thanks so much. Does anyone have questions for Sarah? The current class, the ones that are on the project, the ones that are hoping or planning to join? Okay.
Sarah, I do have a question, Sarah.
Yes.
So, as a business analyst, what exactly in your current role are you actually doing now?
So currently, I am working on the development of a completely new system in the industry. I can't say too much because I've signed a non-disclosure
Um,
agreement. That is how secret and how top-notch the project is. But what I can say is that it is the industry I work in, which is like the leisure industry. Their systems are
mhm.
very archaic. They're legendary systems. They're very slow. They are very outdated. And for the very first time, this company has decided that, you know what, we're going to build our own system from scratch, from the beginning,
Okay.
every single thing. And by the end of the year, we want to turn off whoever is supplying the current system we're using. We want to turn that off. So a day,
Okay.
into go into more deep detail, um, a day in the life of a business analyst would be obviously starting your day with your daily, your daily, what do you call it?
Stand-ups.
Stand up.
Yeah, you stand up. We call it hurdle. That's why I can't remember the word. So we call it hurdle, but you start with your daily stand up, and obviously you start by telling them about what you've been able to achieve yesterday, what you're going to achieve today. If there's any things that you need to raise with stakeholders very quickly, just because of how our setup is, you can raise it up and you get updates. And then your day to day would be mostly depending on the module. So, for example, I run a finance module. So I'm in charge of like the direct debit session. I'm in charge of like the customer account and communication, which is a whole module on its own. And what I'll do is I would go through different workshops to try and figure out the requirements that are needed for that particular module. I'll start by breaking everything down into epics and then gathering the requirements. I'll start drawing process flow diagrams. I'll start going into prototyping and start trying to look for sign off from the SMEs as well. Also, it goes deeper as well because I'm a system business analyst. It goes into integration, it goes into system architecture. I don't want to go into that side because it gets more complex. But from a general overview, that's what I do.
Okay.
Any other
Thank
question?
you.
Let's just hold any other question later. Touching on the last thing that Sarah mentioned about system analysis. Actually, I've also spoken to Sarah. We are working towards starting a new program, like a follow-up program for especially business analysts on how to analyze system. You know, we didn't really do system analysis during the training because we can't do that. We are trying to get you into the job, and it's a whole area in itself. Conducting the class diagram, data flow diagram, entity relationship, sequence diagram, and all of them stuff. But we are working towards getting that out very soon. And I think I would really encourage you, if business analyst, to do it because it helps you to put your requirement together very well. Right? Thank you so much, Sarah. Okay, your mic if you are not talking. Thank you. All right, my buddy Bidemi. Bidemi actually is the first official success story of advanced careers. We started way back, but when I started advanced careers, he's the door opener. He used to tell me that he has good heads. So let's hear from him.
Anyway, at least as you heard, my name is Bidemi, and I'm a tester. I joined Advanced Career way back. That was 2000 and can't even remember, but at least. And also, since then, I've been working as a tester and also as a teacher in Advanced Career. So I just want to share my experience with you guys today to also to encourage you in whatever career path you've chosen, either PM, BA, or a tester. Right at the moment, I work in the payment industry, which is specialized in customers' feedbacks and analytics. My day-to-day activities is basically testing our different application on POS, setting up test environment for different payment partners, API testing to validate request and response, and also testing some UI interface testing. So there's a lot. Anyway, I think David, you understand what I'm trying to say when I say it's a lot. I secure my first role. That was like almost like 3 years ago. Then I used to come from Manchester to come for a lecture in London, yeah. So I used to come every Saturday to David's house to have the lecture.
Yeah,
And
so
you said what?
Bidemi, I hadn't rented an office yet, so Bidemi used to
Yeah,
come to my house, as in to my sofa. That's where we
that's where we
started.
started from.
Yeah.
So, but then I make sure like every assignment, every project, make sure I get myself involved in it. I ask question, and because then I was so scared because I was working in Amazon at that moment. So I've been thinking like, how am I gonna be suitable for this technical word, like something I've never done before. But with David's encouragement, grooming, pushing, and trying to like prepare me and also prepare me for the outside world, I was able to get my first role. And although when I started, it was really, really like kind of don't let me say hard, challenge. Let me just say challenging, because it was payment industries, and when you're working in the payment industry, it involves so many things. Like it's really, really deep. But because of the type of lecture, because type of grooming that advanced careers actually giving me, they've actually prepared me for this outside world. I was able to adapt myself into this like environment, and after like a couple of months, I was able to adapt, and I'm still now, at least I'm still there, and we're still keeping on. So above all, my advice to any probably aspiring to be, if you're aspiring to be a tester or a BA or a PM, first of all, you're in the right place, and make sure you get yourself involved in every activities, like your assignments, work with your project team so that you can gain experience, and also ask questions whatever you don't understand. Make sure you ask question. Talk to David. Even me, I'm always available as well. Talk to me. You can call me, ask questions for any help in different area. And when all this is done, and you want to start applying for a job, and your CV has been reviewed, don't be scared to apply. Apply as much as you can. Don't be scared to fail. Like even if you fail your interview, don't care. The more interview you go for, the more you learn, and before you know it, you will be improving. So don't be scared to get out there to apply for jobs. I think that's it for me today anyway. So thank you.
Thank you, Bidemi. Bidemi, I felt I wanted to use a word, but people might read it wrongly. So I felt so close with Bidemi for the fact that Bidemi he was working in Amazon. When we say Amazon, not a lot of people that work in Amazon, they know what we mean, where we mean at the warehouse, But Bidemi, we will take a bus from Manchester around 2 a.m. or so, 3 a.m. he says, to London, 5 hours journey, wait somewhere till the time we have the lecture, and after we finish the lecture, it takes the bus again back to Manchester. So the whole of that weekend is basically cancelled for him, because from 2 a.m. he leaves home, he gets back 2 a.m. on Sunday. But that is the kind of sacrifice when somebody is looking for something new. So we're going to open to questions at the end of the program. I'm not going to ask any question in between. I think should Femi, could you go next, please? Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Femi. I work as a business analyst. I started in March of this year as a business analyst. Well, where do I start from? I got to know David and advanced career through Fumi. She was already trained as a tester with David, and she recommended David to me. I never had any experience with as being a business analyst before. I only had one book, and that book was talking about business analyst. I didn't know anything about it. I just had the book at home. So when I met David, I spoke to David, and he told me to come and start. And
Hi guys.
hello. So when I started, he just basically started with me from the basics. helped me to understand what business analysis was all about. We hear it's within the technology industry, the tech industry. So I think it's got anything to do with
Abuchi, can you mute yourself, please?
Somebody's making.
Yeah.
Can you mute yourself, please? Somebody's mic. Let me see.
Sorry, sorry guys, if I was on.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's got anything to do with IT, basically you working or writing codes. And that was one of my fears, but it was something good for me to know that it's got nothing to do with that. It's more about you analyzing an organization's processes and coming up with a viable idea that can be able to solve an issue through IT, basically. So I started with him. But this is what I'm going to say to everyone. The journey is not going to be easy, as it is with everything you want to do. It's not going to be easy. But if you have the drive and you have the passion and with God on your side, there's nothing you can do. If you have the drive and the passion that you really want this, and you have that confidence, definitely you will get it. I started last year, I think last year, February or March. I started with David, and I was going to the classes, was doing the assignments as well. I think we had, I was assigned to a project which we started. But I think with the project, because everybody has different, what drives them is different. I knew I wanted this, and the amount of time we all had to be able to put into it wasn't similar to each other. So everybody wasn't really doing it as much as the project wasn't going really well. So we had to be called back to look for a different way of doing the project. At that point in time, just as Sarah mentioned, I just started to apply. I started to apply for different jobs, just for me to be able to get the experience and also at least understand what I would look forward to when I'm ready to, when I know I'm definitely ready to be able to go into, well, to start going for interviews. David helped me with the CV as well. And I was going for interviews. I was also going to the classes as well. But I wasn't really, well, I go for interviews. I wasn't getting any feedbacks. Like, or sometimes they wouldn't call me back. Or when they call me back, I'm not going to get, they tell me, oh, we're sorry, we couldn't call you back. And, you know, at that point in time, this could make one feel discouraged, like you can't do it. But to be honest with you, just carry on. And I think failure is a good thing because it helps you to understand where you need to work on. And that is the truth about it, because you get to understand this is the area where you need to work on, and then you go again, you know, and this is what I did. But in February, was in February or January, I just got a call for a job, and I went for the interview, and they asked me different questions. I answered the questions, which wasn't really rocket science question. It's just the confidence. And most of this interview is more about the confidence and the drive you have, because these questions are just questions they ask everybody. But how do you understand the process? Do you understand what the processes are? Can you work with this? Have you worked with this tool before? Tell me when you worked with it. How did you use it? You know, just those questions within that line. And they called me to come and start the work, to start the job. And it's been going well. I work as a business analyst with an organization who are trying to update their system. It's more to do with a data migration. They're currently using AX 2009, Microsoft AX 2009, and they're trying to upgrade to Microsoft Dynamics 365. So they have vendors who have been able to, or the vendors are the one creating the D365 for them on how the system can be able to work with it. My job as a business analyst is to come in, liaise with between the vendors and also the SMEs, the organization that I work for, Some of the tasks that I do have currently is to create process maps, which is to create the assist process map for the training manual on their current system, which is the AX 2009. Also, pending the time, depending on how the vendors will get on with the work, I will be writing the user stories for the new systems as well, and also work on the UAT testing as well. Currently, that is just what my work is, which I've already started one of them, which is the process mapping, and the other ones are to come, soon to come. So my day to day would be me going into the office before this lockdown took place. Going to the office, we normally would have our stand-ups on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and it's normally in the afternoon, not in the morning as some would have it. It's just practically easy. To be honest with you, just as a Scrum team is, everybody tends to work together. There's no hierarchy. We're all doing the same thing. So nobody's pressuring you to, oh, you have to do this or you have to do that. You manage your own time. Most of your time will be attending meetings. That is how my time has been. Attending meetings. It's only maybe later in the evening I get to work on my own job or the task which I've been given. With advanced career, I would say advanced career has really, really been helpful. And I would say thank you to Fumi. I'm not sure if Fumi is here. And also thank you to Dave for the patience he had as well with myself. And also one thing is, please make sure you network with people within your team. I mean, with advanced career. One of the persons who really, really did help me as well was Mr. Forde, is it Mr. Allison? He really, really helped me. Sometimes I'll call him late in the evening. We'll just have a chat about different things about business analysis. Just having that chat of what he thinks and what I think as well. Robin mind really helped me a lot because I was able to tap into his own ideas and knowledge as well. And at the same time, he was able to get some knowledge from me as well. So don't be afraid to ask questions because that's going to be one of the things you will need to do. You're going to need to ask questions. The question is a silly question. You can ask any sort of question. It's just to help you to understand what your job will be or how I'm going to say how is for you to have a better understanding of what you need to do, or if you don't know something, you don't have an idea of it. So I want to say thank you to David and also thank you to Fumi and Mr. Allison for how they actually was able to help me. I started in February or March, and well, within a year, I was able to get a job. Before then, I would have actually gotten a job before that time, which would have been last year, December, I think December or November, but it fell through due to just a silly, according to the employer, that was a silly thing, to be honest with you. But it's doable. And as long as you have the drive and the confidence, you definitely can do it. I think that's it for me. Any questions?
They're going to ask a question later. Thank you, Femi. Thank you so much. You know, it's amazing for me to sit back and listen to you guys. I think I should do this more often because sometimes when I speak to people and I tell them that it is possible within a certain period of time to actually transition, it's as if I'm just trying to get them or I'm just lying to them. But when I sit back and listen to you guys speak, I myself, I felt emotion, you know. And with each person, I learn different things from each person. Okay. And what I learned from Femi is what I learned from a friend that we started out together. We were supposed to even start advanced careers together. It took him a while. It took him a while to secure his first job. In short, it took him about 3 to 4 years to secure his first IT job. It took me 6 months. You know, I met him halfway. He had done training 2 years before I met him, but I got in probably I did some of the things that I am also sharing and teaching you guys, and it got me there quicker. But Femi started with other people, and they fell apart, or they fell on the side. But he kept going. He kept just like little steps every day. You know, that was what I learned from him. And he also said something: connect with your group. The great thing about advanced careers right now, you guys didn't even enjoy advanced careers. The current students are even enjoying it more, because they must connect and they must have their own session while we continue. Because so you don't have to have access to Bidemi to join to me. Sometimes it is the person that you are learning with that can also help you. Okay. So that said, I think I'll move to Olua Damilola Kilani. I think Damilola has secured like 5 jobs after her first job, and sometimes she sent me 2 reference and tell me, accept this one, don't accept that one. I think I have like 2 of her reference that I didn't have to respond to. So Damilola, it's your turn. Go on.
Hi everyone. Oh yeah, David, you're making me feeling like well, all the glory be to God, to be fair. Like John said earlier, first thing is to thank God. It's not by anyone's power. Is what God said will be, it will be. And when God said it's the right time. I mean, I started with advanced careers. I think it was about 3 months or 4 months after I had my baby. And it was not as it was a bit tough because I had to drive from Wolverhampton about 3.5 hours to London every Saturday. Um, it was a bit crazy, but at least I did it for about four weeks, and then we're supposed to start the work experience at the time. And then something just happened. Um, I didn't. I think I was part of the work experience. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. It's not that long, but some things happen and you forget what you've suffered for. Anyway, say um I think a few months later, another person wanted to do a training, and he said, "Oh, do you want to join me? So it'll be easier for me to study with you, maybe I don't know." And he offered to pay it. So, and at the time, I was just so lucky. Like everyone was just saying, "Oh, I got a job tester. I got a job." QA. I was like, well, what is it with this QA? I'm doing business analyst. Why am I not, but I didn't realize I was supposed to put in the efforts at the time. Maybe because of the traveling, I wasn't putting enough effort. But when I started the training for QA, I realized, oh gosh, Dammy, there's more work than you can ever imagine. So then I started to put in the efforts. A lot of efforts gone into me studying overnight, praying as well. By the time the training finished, I did my CV, send it to David. Can you please review my CV? I think he reviewed it a couple of times, and then I sent my CV out. As soon as I sent my CV, I got the first call. I was a bit scared, but unfortunately, my network in the house was really bad. I couldn't do the interview, and the guy would not call me. But I was like, "No, this is my first interview." No, I tried calling the guy back several times. He wasn't budging as well, so I just like, well, you might as well just I left him. So I just kept applying. Not long after that, I started getting a lot of calls, scheduling interviews. I At the time I don't even mind going anywhere because I had my mother-in-law with me at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna use that opportunity. I don't mind interviewing anywhere. I'll go for the interview, drive miles to go for interview. I wasn't bothered at all. Luckily I got my first role, my first job. I think I got two job offer same time, and I accepted one, and well, obviously I had to decline the other. Um, After a couple of months, whilst I realized the one I was in, I don't really, there's a lot of pressure on me because I just joined as a QA, and some of the things that I thought I'll be experiencing, I think they can see right through me like this is a novice, really, and that make them put a lot of pressure. They keep checking my work. The rest of the my colleagues there, the when checking their work is just my work. If I write any test, what is it called, they have to check it before they pass it through. If I do any testing, they will check it again to make sure. Say you was like, I just feel like, what's going on? I can't really, I don't think I'll survive doing this kind of thing. So I think it's time for me to move on. So I just started sending out my CV again. Lucky for me again, not long after, about a month or a few weeks after I started sending my CV, I got about 3 offers again. But I picked the right. I think before I actually went for that, the previous one that I declined, and they got back to me saying, Dami, we want you to come back. We still want you to join the company. I went back to David, like, these people still want me. What do you want me to do, David? David was like, this is when you use your bargaining skills. Tell them you want more money. And yeah, I went back to them, followed David's advice, went back to them, and tell you what, I tabled my offer, and they actually accepted the offer. They even increased it for me. They increased the salary and all the entitlements that comes with it. They added more stuff, like they're giving me traveling expenses and stuff like that, which was not part of the initial offer at all. I was like, wow, that was great. But anyway, God knows why I didn't really go for the job. Well, the one I'm currently in at the moment, I think I was so lucky to get that job, and I'm really, really happy where I am. It was quite challenging when I started this role because it wasn't like the first one at all. The first one was a retail company, whereas this one, and the first one, they have their in-house developers, whereas this new one, we had vendor, we have suppliers. So it's a bit difficult when you're dealing with suppliers. No one knows how to do the job. It's just no one knows the system. It's just the suppliers, and whatever they delivered, you realize, gosh, seriously, what is this they're delivering? Did they not test it before they deliver it and stuff like that? But it's helping me learn, it's helping me grow, day in day out. I'm growing, and on the flyer you might see that it says on there, I'm a business analyst. Thanks, David. That is where I'm going to be at some point. You've just prophesied again. So hopefully soon. I'm still looking to get back into business analysis. That is my goal to get into. So Sarah and Femi, watch out. I might be calling you guys soon to be asking for advice. So just please bear with me. I'm always doing that. Sam knows me by now. I just one thing I want to advise everyone is, don't be afraid. I mean, the first time I had to reach out to someone from advanced career is, I think we had a talk like this. Sam came to talk to us about how he secured his role and stuff. After the talk, I just go to WhatsApp, look for his number. Sam just spoken to us. Pick his number. I text him. Sam, hope you don't mind me speaking to you. I want to talk to you about what you discussed and stuff like that. He was like, no, I'm happy. That was how I got connected with Sam, and he has been really, actually, few months ago I reached out to him again, like, I need help again. And he was so happy to help. So reach out to your colleagues, and whoever you're doing the course with at the moment is very good. Study together, do a lot of role play. I mean, role play helped a lot. Sometimes you see me role playing with my colleagues, like, oh, tell me about yourself. We record ourselves and send it out to someone to review, and they'll be like, sometimes you say it right, sometimes you don't say it right. It doesn't matter. Record. And if you go to any interview, one thing I do as well is all my interviews are recorded. Well, I might be breaching GDPR, but I'm doing it just for my sake, so I can listen back to it and and reflect on it, and just help myself, and it's gonna help. It helps me grow. If there's any question that was asked that I thought, oh, why did I answer this question like this? I know next time if I go to any other interview, I will nail that question. And all these questions the interviewers ask are very, very, very similar. And also another advice for me is study, 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 study. David, I won't stop saying this. David is doing ISPA, advanced careers, they're doing what he's doing all he can do, but you have to go extra miles. Don't just say, oh, David gave me an assignment, I'm just gonna stick with David. No, go on YouTube, LinkedIn Learning if you have access to it. There's a lot of software testing, Guru 99. There's a lot of information, and if you find any information contradicting what David has taught you, go back to David and clarify. I'm sure if he's confused as well, he will go to someone else. He's got that experience anyway. He will be able to analyze better for you. But study, study, study. You have to do the job. David is going to push you, but you've got to push yourself. Um, I don't know if I've kind of covered everything, but if you think I missed anything out, David, please you can just shout out and now go back to it. I think that's it from me today.
All right. Thank you, Dami. I wish I can,
You
for all of you so far, Aaron is already asking for your number. Sometimes that's why it's so amazing. When you are too used to something, yeah, you tend to ignore them and forget them. Okay, all of the advice you guys are giving, I've given most of this advice back to you, but it's like I've forgotten this advice myself. So probably the current student might not be getting it from me. Maybe they are getting it, I don't know. But when people like you come to pick various aspects and speak about it, it makes everything complete. So I am now realizing that, in short, advanced careers is not complete with me alone, but it will be complete as a community. All right. I know most of us here are from Africa, and I think we as a group, we could actually do something greater. I might be probably the figurehead to start it, but I think as a group we could do something greater. We could actually connect with more of our brothers, our friends, family, and pick them up from that thing that when we come to the UK, travel abroad, we do, and get them out. Even if they don't want, we have to force them out, because if they hear your story, they will know that, yes, I know you, I know where you were, and I know where you are today. I knew where I was. In short, when I started out, after my first job, I trained 3 of my very close friends. Personally, maybe I have 18 with training. And they all got a job. One was really, really suffering with his credit card. So thank you guys. So thank you, John. Thank you, Femi. Thank you, Bidemi. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Damila. I can't even add anything to it. Already, some people have already started asking for numbers. Please, 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 if you can go into the general group, find these guys, ask for their number, try to talk to them. They will all agree to speak to you. And I think I might also speak with us one-on-one, especially the ones that are already working, so that we can now get mentors that I can assign people to as well, so that it's not all about David. Because as each person speaks, they always have people to give thanks to. Femi has 4 days to give thanks to. Dami has Sam to give thanks to. John has Bidemi to give thanks to. Sarah has Bidemi to give thanks to. No. So please try to connect. If you don't know their number, chat with me directly, chat with Bidemi, and I will give you access to each person's number. But I think we need to create a system where I can assign people to work with some of the guys in the industry. And the great thing about teaching is that when you teach, you learn twice. So we know that. So let's allow John to now finalize. I think he is now free to speak. So, John, if you're there, please go ahead.
Yeah, guys, sorry about that before. Well, I'll just I'll be quick about this because I know the time is gone already. For me, my background was I worked as a prison officer for 5 years, and I got sick of my job, and I felt I needed something to give me time with families, and because I wasn't getting enough time with my family, and I needed something of a more career path. So I went on the internet, and thank God I found advanced career. I rang the number which I spoke to David, and David told me all about it. That see, if I can read right, trust me, I could do this job. Well, so I started the training with them. You know, within 6 weeks, um, trust me, I'm saying this that within 6 weeks, but within the 6 weeks of sleepless nights, trust me, 6 weeks of sleepless night. I was reading. My wife was sick of me because I was just indoors. I had to take time off work. You know, for 6 weeks, I was indoors, reading, studying, calling, you know. Even before they started the project, of course, I was taking time out for myself to study. And I asked Bidemi that, see, Bidemi, I don't know, but something inside me told me I'm ready for this. And he gave me the CV. Even David was like, "Why do you want the CV now? You still got lots to do." I said, "David, I've been reading every goddamn day, and I think I'm ready to go." Something inside me just told me, "Yeah, just crack on." Obviously, I work as I studied. I did software testing, and this week, on a Monday, when I sent all my CVs out, when I sent the CV out, it was just funny that my interviews was on the same week. I had about 6 interviews, and they were all the same week. The first interview I had on a Monday, the I really messed up because the lady told me that she asked me who gave me the CV. That's how bad it was. She was like, "Why you applying for this job? Who gave you the CV?" Because all the questions she was asking me, I just messed up. And I was like, if people can do this job, if people can do this course and get this job, why can't I do it as well? You know, So I rang David. I told David, I just see, David, this is how I messed up. And I rang Damilola as well. I rang Bidemi. I rang Sam. And I told them, see, I said, guys, I'm not going to leave you guys alone. I need to get this job. Guys, one thing I need to tell you guys is no question is stupid. Whatever question that will lead you to success, just ask. Don't be afraid. I asked all the questions, how I can take my interview, what to say on my interview. And David told me, he said, look at the mirror and speak to yourself. And that is what I did. And I'll tell you what, just straight after I had the interview, I went straight in the room, and I was stood in front of the mirror for 12 hours. I swear. I was asking questions, interviewing myself. So the second day, I had another interview. And the third day, I had another interview. I had the rest of the 5 interviews. And a week later, they all rang me and told me I got through. Even I went for an interview with the Northumbria Police, and I even got the job as well. So when success is yours, it is yours. No one can take it from you, but you need to put a lot of effort. And that is what, like Dami said earlier, that advanced career is the pathway. They show you what pathway to success is. So you need to put more effort. No road is easy. It's rough, trust me, but you will scale through it. Because I got my job within 6 weeks doesn't mean you can do yours and get it within days. It just takes a lot of effort, I was motivated by Bidemi because every time I speak to Bidemi, he says he's got something inside him that I'm going to get this job soon. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I don't even know nothing. But, I felt I'm going to prove Bidemi right, even Dami and Sam. There was a day I spoke to Sam and he told me, he said he was at the barber shop and they rang him for an interview and he had the interview right at the barber shop and he got the job. So I felt, I can do that as well. One of the interview I had was I was lying on bed, and they rang me and I did the interview while I was on bed. I didn't look at nothing and I got the job, you know. But you guys can do a lot better than this. Trust me, you can, because the people interviewing you, they don't even know much, but put a lot of effort to convince them that you can actually do this job. And you can, trust me, you can. If I can do it, you can do it. So what I do with my job is I'm a functional test analyst. I test applications to make sure they're supposed to do what they're meant to do. I write a whole lot of test cases, test scripts, and I execute my test. I use Jira to log in bugs, defects, and all this stuff you can do it. Trust me. When you start this course, you think, things looks a bit rough, but with time, everything will start coming in place, and you will, trust me, is a road that you will never, never, ever, ever regret. I've been working from home for the past 10 weeks now, and I quite enjoy it. I see my kids every day. I see my wife, and it's fun. I wake up half 8. The daily stand-up meeting is 9 o'clock. I do that, and it's just easy, but you need to put a lot of effort to it. You need to put a lot of effort. And I think I'm just going to drop my cup here, and that's me. I wish everyone the best, and I give thanks to God. And I want to say one more time, thank you to Damilola, David, Bidemi, Sam, Fumi. Thanks so much to you guys, and God will keep blessing you guys and everyone in this house today. And my prophecy is you will never leave not thanking God. You will get a job for whatever part your course, of course, you're learning. You will get a job. Trust me. Just put a whole lot of effort to it. You will definitely get a job. That's my prophecy. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, John. Thank you so much. I'm inspired. If I was um, also a job seeker, there's no way I would listen to the five of you and I will not be inspired. But I want that flame to keep burning. Sam, several people have been calling your name, and I know you are online. Can you say hi, please? I know you're on your mobile. Okay. Are you at work? All right. What can I say? In short, thanks, Sarah. I really appreciate Bidemi. I do appreciate Damilola. I thank you so much. And Femi, John, thank you so much. Yeah, I too have learned a lot from this. I'll give room for questions, but before I do, I want to ask one critical question, and I think that is what a new topic itself. All right. Um, I'll say I was a guru when I started my first job, so I didn't have stress in the first 1 month or so. But I would like Bidemi first and foremost to share his experience when he first started. Probably I'll give Bidemi 2 minutes, especially the challenges, especially the things you were kind of going through that almost impacted you psychologically. All right, and probably John, because it is very important for you guys to speak about that. There are several people. Why I'm asking this is because Damilola got into that stress, and I think she decided to move on with something else, although she found something better. But I want some people to know that it might be natural when you get your first job. Things will not be as smooth as you thought it would be. So, Bidemi, could you just probably in 2 minutes?
All right. Like I said earlier, I work in a payment data insight company, which is specialized in customers' feedback and analysis. So, and with payments, there's a lot going on with it. So we deal with all this, POS, all this payment that you see in the shop, POS. All those things are very, very complex. Like, so when I started then, I was like, oh, this is just POS and everything. We just need to test, the user interface, what you are, everything on it. But unfortunately, setting up the test environment alone could take you like, even if you're not careful, it could take you like months. There's a project I worked on, like they've been trying to set up this test environment for like almost 2 years. But thanks to God, when I got there, due to like, maybe experience, God and everything, I was able to set that up. But for the first 2 months, I was going through a lot. Like whenever I'm going to work, whenever I get to the junction that's close to my work, I'm always like, oh, this is another day. What am I going to see today? What am I going to meet today? But one thing I know is like, one thing I do is like, I keep pushing. And also, like David always told me like about documentation and everything. Like every new things, everything I've been doing, I keep documenting them. I keep like, trying to go through them all over again. And after like, to be honest with you, it took me like almost 2 months to 3 months for me to like adapt to that payment environment, because I don't know if any of you has worked in a payment environment, because payment is very, very like, complex. So, but at least today now, I'm good at least. So that's just it. But like all my other colleagues have said, just keep pushing, aspire to learn more, you know, don't give up. You will get there, no matter the case may be. The moment you put your mind into it, no matter the case may be, you get there. And above all, we always have to give thanks to Almighty God. It's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Bidemi.
Yeah.
Basically, some of you we work on a different project on our live project or during the class, but when you get to the market, it might be totally different thing. Femi talked about I think you guys are doing data migration, okay? There's someone in Ireland that was working on a software for, I think it is integrated with cars or so, and he was having the same kind of stress that Bidemi was going through. And he told me that Bidemi told him one thing, because I referred him to Bidemi immediately, that Bidemi told him to know the product, try and know the product. Forget about all you've learned with advanced careers. That is just to get you here. Try and understand the product. Once you understand the product, then you are good to go. And Bidemi worked close next to me, and I keep pushing on documentation. I've left there, and he keeps coming back and say, you know what you talked about documentation is so powerful, because that is what is helping him, and others are really failing from there. So your first role, it might be challenging, but the first thing you need to do is to try to understand the product, and you cannot understand the product without documentation. So let me open the party for others to ask questions. Okay. I know I wanted it to be 1 hour, but we started 10 minutes after. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
This is Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, just just for any of these any of our speakers, because I know one of the most do I say area people that raises anxiety. You have a CV that portrays that yes, we did some some things during the lesson, but you're going into a work environment with like this number of experience that's already stated in your CV, and then the anxiety of people who are expecting you to come in with these experience, and how do you kind of adapt in this environment? How do you settle this anxiety? Like probably you come into an organization where you have other testers, maybe you're going for a tester role, and they are expecting you to come in with some level of experience, which you really don't have, but though you gather some training, so how do you kind of manage that? Because I know that will be creating a lot of anxiety for people that are looking for job, basically, if you understand my question.
I don't know if I could answer to that. If
Yeah, you
is
can
it
go on, John.
well for me, what I will ask you to do is obviously if you're doing your training now, there are key points of that you need to actually practice. Obviously, David, if you start your training with David, few things you need to learn on how the project works, which I believe David will put you through. How to write test cases, understanding your requirements, which these are the things as a tester, these are the things that I believe that you do every day, and which I believe David will put you through as well. Understanding your requirements and knowing how to write test cases against the requirements and knowing how to log defects, For what I do where I work, it's I work on the website application, which where I check the functionality of the components, which is, trust me, which is quite easy. That's if you know what you're doing. And I believe for all these, David will, if you're training to be a tester, David will put you through on project works, where the project starts and ends. And the key point of the things you need to know is how to write a good about test planning, writing a test case, test exit reports, and knowing your application and be more attentive, you know, having good eye to details. Um, I don't know if anyone else has anything to say about this because there might be some other areas that I'm not covering properly, but um, these are the areas that you need to learn, and trust me, there will be a lot of confidence if you're trying to be a tester. Just know all these parts, on how to log bugs as well, to reproduce bugs for the developer. Because if you found a bug, you need to know how to the steps to reproduce for the developer to reproduce the bugs. And
Yeah,
these are
so
the
John,
things you need. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's not make it too long. Let me
Yeah.
come
Can I say
into
something?
that. Okay, Bidemi, is that
Yeah,
Bidemi?
just quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, Bidemi experienced that a lot, so I think
Yeah.
yeah.
One
Sure.
thing I want you to know is like for every new role, there's always going to be new challenges, regardless of your experience.
Yeah.
So, whenever you get yourself into a new role, a new job, the first, like we said the other time, the first thing you need to do is like leave whatever you've learned from advanced career. Although that's going to be like a foundation for you to get into the job. But the moment you get in there, make sure like you study their home products, the way they do things, like ask questions. And the moment you're able to get yourself into like knowing their own products, then to be honest, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you'll be able to get through it.
Thank you, Bidemi.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, one more thing is that don't pay attention to what you don't know, because when you pay attention to that, you feel that you are a cowboy. I want to let everyone here know very well, please, anyone that is on the program right now, you are not a cowboy, cowgirl, or whatever. Don't have that mentality when you get your first job. It doesn't matter if you add 3 years, 6 years experience on your CV. You actually earn that 6 years experience. How did you earn that 6 year experience? Whether you study here as a project manager, business analyst, software tester, data analyst, web developer, it doesn't matter. There is an element of your job that you are currently doing that relates to either project management, software testing, or business analysis, or any other role. All right. So it is that that element of that job that you've done, even though officially you were not a business analyst. That is what we are more focused on to make your CV become rich. And we obviously know that for any company to pay attention to you, you must have a level of experience. You have not lied. What is the essence of CV? Is to highlight your strength and not your weakness. Everyone does it. Donald Trump will blow his trumpet beyond what he has achieved. The top CEOs, they will blow their trumpet to get that top job. So if you think that you have lied, number one, you've started killing yourself. You started seeing yourself as an imposter, and nobody is even challenging you. You are the one challenging yourself. You're the one thinking, I'm not good enough. You're the one thinking, I have lied. They don't care about you. They care about what you can do. So Bidemi said it. Learn the product. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. If you start a new job, a new industry, working on a new product, the principle might be the same, but the application will be different. Does that make sense? So I'm saying this to everyone. Please, we don't have any cowboy here. If you come to me and I help you develop your CV with X number of years, it is because you have an element of that job before. You have not lied at all, but you have highlighted the strength you have in that role. I believe when Sarah had her interview, Sarah, they asked her a critical question that I wouldn't have answered, but it was because of her then job, she was able to pick knowledge from her then job to answer that question. I hope that this makes sense, Chris.
It does.
Then, funny enough, if I go to YouTube, there was a time when Michael secured his first job. He came to the office, he was talking, and I actually recorded it. I will share the link on the general group. He was talking, he was saying something, he was working on Salesforce application already, but as a sales rep, not as a business analyst. And he was able to analyze the process, realize that they are taking too many steps to perform something, and he rearranged the process, and he made it more efficient. But he didn't know that it was business analysis, process flow, or process modeling. Okay, but he has had that experience. It was when he came for the program and went for interview and started working, that was when he started realizing, oh, I've done this before. All right, so nobody lies here. Advanced Careers is an authentic company. If you have 5 years experience on your CV as a business analyst, it is because you have earned it. Make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you. Any other question? I know we're going beyond time, but I think the essence of Advanced Careers is to help us. It's not about time right now, but it's about helping you achieve your highest potential with your career or whatever you want to pursue. Any other question? I think, do we have Nelson Orefua here?
Sorry, George here.
All right, go on, George.
Yeah, please, David. I know you have all this experienced man, ladies here. I don't know if you have you gather all the question for different rules, like analysis, like quiz, developers. If you can just give all those questions, practicing by ourselves with the mirror, like the other brother said earlier on, is that so that it can be benefits. So get used to it, even when we are still doing practice here. There are some maybe so you can help us for future preparation for the interview.
Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks, George. Sorry. Yeah, I have those questions. Those questions are everywhere online. Um, however, I am a structured person, and I want you to get to a particular level of the process. You are just about getting into the project, and I said 2 weeks into the project, that's when you complete your CV and then start looking for doing interviews. Now, if you start spending time during the class looking at interview question, to me, you are distracting me. You are distracting yourself. You have a maximum amount of energy in a day to use, and if you start thinking about interview question when you are supposed to be learning the skills, the employable skills, then it is not beneficial to me. I have structured advanced careers in a way. I'm not perfect. I keep updating the structure, but I think it gets to a stage whereby you get that. All right. So once you get onto the live project, which obviously is kick-starting next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line, we can now start talking about that. Make sense?
Okay, yeah, I understand you. Thank you.
You're welcome. One final question. We're going to be finishing 9:30, so about 3 more minutes. All right. It's Blessing talking, but your mic is on mute. I can't hear you. If I cannot hear you, maybe you just drop a line of chat. Blessing, if you can hear me, just start it. Drop it as a comment.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. No, I can hear you now. Go on.
You can hear me now. Yeah,
Yes.
I wanted just to add about what that brother was saying earlier. In life, every home has their rules. In business, everything has their rules. I personally, I always believe when you want something, you learn and you humble yourself. You sit down and you take all the notes and you take all the feedback or all the criticism, because that's what will build you up. I've done a lot of projects without being any project manager at all. I've built a lot of projects in construction with no experience, bought myself books, sit down and just follow what to do and what not to do. And all the projects I've done so far went very well. So if you start with fear that what will happen, who will say what, you never get it at all. The reason I'm here is just because I want the paperwork now to qualify me that I have the paper to call myself as a PM. But in the practical way, I've been doing it for years without a paper, but with the courage and the guts. And in the midst of big people who talk billion, I just go there. I said, okay, I will volunteer free of charge. And the end result is just, whoa, how did you manage this? It's just the courage. Sometimes you don't need too many paperwork. You just need to believe on yourself and then go for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Blessing. So to round off, there's something I tell probably upcoming students. There are about 8 elements to amazing career. You need to have clarity on the job, skills which you gain from us, experience which you gain from us, and relationship very key. Okay, connection. It is connection that got me where I am today. Not Nigerian connection, but connection because I have the skills. And Paul really liked what I did when we worked together before, and he was able to still carry me. Some of you here know that also it was connection that got you where you are, and connection will still get you upward. You need to be prepared. You need to believe in yourself. Okay, there will be opportunity for fear. John made mention of something as well. His first interview went disastrous. I don't think anybody's first interview was as bad as mine. I was studying for automation. When they were asking me common test cases, I was unable to answer. So you need to believe in yourself, and then when you prepare, you will definitely be lucky. Thank you so much for joining in. I think I will speak to the experienced one here. Then we can work out a mentoring process for the other students. Thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Any last word from John, Femi, Sarah, Bidemi, and Dami? One word.
I just want
think
to say, go on,
oh
ma'am.
right, okay. Go on.
No, for you, ma'am. Go on for it.
I think the only sorry about that. I think the only thing I can advise is just push yourself and motivate yourself. You can only do what you want to do if you put your mind to it. Put your mind to it and just keep praying to God and study hard. It's not easy. It's something like everyone has been saying. It's something you haven't done before. You haven't got the experience. You might have been doing it one way or the other that you don't even have a clue that you're actually doing it. But bottom line is you're going into a new career. You just need to prepare yourself by not just the studying. The studying is not the only thing that is going to help you, but you need to have that confidence in yourself that you can do this. Believe in yourself. That belief, take it with you, and you will excel. All the
Thank you,
best.
Danny. Thank you, Danny. John,
You're welcome.
30
Yeah.
seconds.
Actually, Dami has just covered what I was gonna say. Well, to me, if I can do it, then you can do it. That's it.
Thank you, John. Femi.
Yes. So one thing I forgot earlier on to say, Bidemi, I remembered when David, you had the first anniversary of your advanced career, and somebody mentioned about Bidemi having to come all the way from Manchester, and I think the person was talking about how he had to come from Manchester, and what that taught me was for somebody to have such passion to come from that far and have to go back that same day. It really gave me that drive within myself that if he can do it, I can do it. And not just that alone, whatever you don't know, advanced career is not going to teach you everything about the course itself. You need to still go back and maybe watch YouTube's, watch different perspective, different ideas people would have to questions which you might have in your mind. And I think that will help you. Everybody has already mentioned, it's just having that drive that you can succeed. And with God, you can do it. Because without God, there's nothing. With God, you can do it.
Thank you. Bidemi.
Yeah.
Any final word?
Has anybody got any tips for video interviews during this COVID period?
We'll talk about that, Tokumbo. We can talk about that later on, probably sometime in the week. All right. Sarah, any final word? Okay, I think Sarah has gone as well. All right. Thank you, guys. It hurts me to end the session, but I have to end it now. Cheers. Bye. Bye, everyone.
All
Bye.
right,
Bye,
good
David.
night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye,
So yeah, I was gonna
baby.
put something. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.